Hi folks, ciao Beppe, how are you?
I'm doing great. We won, so I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure. After yesterday victory, we are happy. This is our third debriefing of the season, of course, after Empoli-Juventus. And of course, today we are here, first of all, to analyze, to comment what happened yesterday. Maybe we'll discuss about the market that fortunately is over too. And it was a busy day by my side because I worked behind Pogba to understand his condition. Fortunately, everything is a little bit okay. We'll see if we'll be able or not against Lazio. I think that no problem for the next match for Gatti. But today was a busy day. Ciao ragazzi, ciao Thomas, ciao Nick, ciao Matteo, ciao Paul. So let's start to discuss about Empoli-Juventus. What's your opinion? What's your MVP? Tell me something about this match, mate.
I will surprise you with my MVP. I will surprise you.
Really? Cambiaso.
No,
Cambiaso, just
no.
because he played very well when...
He entered really well. But no. I shoot immediately. My MVP, I have two. I have one for the performance and one for the tactical
among
intelligence.
of many names.
No, two. So I have Danilo, man of
Okay.
the match, but I also have Weston McKennie.
Weston McKennie. Are you kidding me?
No. Weston McKennie. I loved the performance.
I'm going to left this live.
No. I need to explain you, of course, why. But Weston McKennie, according to me, he did really fantastic well. I watched the game, and I was really watching him because, of course, I'm curious to see if he can play there or not. Then, what you said on your video as well, if we are expecting him to be Cancelo, Alexander Arnold, we are the one that are doing it.
It's a different player.
But tactically, do you remember? It's already 2 weeks that I'm telling you, if we want to see Gatti, we have to move Cambiaso on the right. To have a bit, and Weston was really doing it because every time that Gatti went up, Weston McKennie immediately he was taking the spot. Immediately.
So you are saying that he was smart in terms of tactical aspect to understand the right spaces.
He did exactly what Max told him, and that's also why Gatti had the freedom to go up. The penalty that he's receiving, for example, he was in the box because Weston was every single time in the back, and he was fast in doing it. So he understands what Max is asking him, and he's doing it. Then, yes, he's doing academic work. It's not wow. There is no fantasy, but that's not what I expect from Weston. Then, if you tell me, is this your dream winger? No, I prefer other players. But I think that he did really well what he had to do.
Beppe, regarding this topic, I have immediately a question for you by my side. Do you think that McKennie will be the starter or where is still the favorite to be considered as a starter?
The problem with Weston McKennie, I'm speaking about the past, is that in that role, he already played a few times against Paris Saint-Germain, etc. You have that beautiful performance, and then 3 games is not performing. So if he's not consistent, no, he will not. On the other side, if he's able to do this kind of performance in terms of stability, but I was thinking about Max Allegri. Even in the past with Evra, Lichtsteiner, he was always changing the wingers. One game it was this, another game it was the other one, depending who was playing next to him. So I think that you will see a lot of rotation on the wings.
Yeah.
Starter, no.
I think that it will have been perfect to play with McKennie, maybe behind Berardi, playing with the
3-4-3.
3-4-3, yeah. But Clash, I mean, Romeo gave Weston a 6, and that's right, because I gave Weston...
You didn't like the performance of West?
No, I think that I agree with you 100% when you say that it was very smart tactically. But I prefer always to watch a true right back.
But I agree.
My idol is a Cancelo. So that's...
You know why I'm saying one of the men of the match? Because of Weston. It's not only Weston that I'm watching, but I'm watching Gatti's playing. Danilo is playing on the left and is much better on the left than an Alexandro ultimately. So because of Weston McKennie, you're unlocking three players. In the balance, it has importance, I think.
Ellie said, I think that Cambiaso and Gatti will start on the right against
Could be.
Lazio.
Could be.
I don't think so. Maybe Gatti will start, but I'm pretty sure that there, against Lazio, will come back well at the beginning of the match. Then we'll see.
Cambiaso goes to Nazionale or not? No.
No. With the Italian national team, we have just Chiesa and Locatelli.
Yeah,
and
because,
Miretti and Turicchia with the under 21.
Even Alexander is staying, Bremer is staying. I think that Bremer, that's one of the negative notes I have from the first three games. Not 100%, Bremer. Not 100%. For me, it was not one of the tops.
McKennie should receive Kostic crosses, is good. Gioco aereo, Mofid said. Yeah, I agree with you. Then we have a lot of messages, guys. It's impossible to answer everyone. Is not gut injured? Yeah, but it's a little injury, and I think that it will be maybe not a 100% against Lazio, but according to my sources, it will be available for this match. So now he has 2 weeks to recover. Is a good physical condition. Remember that Gatti reported a sprain of his left ankle, so I think that in 10 days will be.
But it's a surprise. When did it happen? Because Pogba, I saw. Gatti, I didn't notice. I didn't know. You saw already in the game that he was injured, or no? You saw it after the game.
Yeah, when you watch the game at home, it's always difficult to understand what happened there. But I can tell you that there were colleagues at the Castellani, and they didn't understand, for example, that Pogba was injured too. But I understood that from at home because
Yeah, but the people.
I have seen something like that, something wrong.
When they told me, I was doing the watch along, and they told me, Beppe, Pogba is injured. Pogba is injured. Boop. I was watching, and then he has that move. And I said, I don't know if he's injured or sometimes Pogba, I don't know why he's walking like that. So wait a bit, but it's true, because he was not asking for the ball anymore. He was not really involved in the game anymore. So then you understand that he's injured. But
Noor Romeo, I subscribe to your channel because of the most respectful person on YouTube that I know. Thank you very much, mate. We are trying with Beppe to do something in English together because we have a very good relationship. So I hope that you are appreciating what we are doing. Of course, we want to be better. We'll be better 100%. That's the point. But Beppe is a top player. I'm a player at Primavera, so I hope to improve. Eli Romeo is a place in the first spot with best football. Allegri position for next year. It's impossible right now, guys, to discuss about what can happen or not happen next season. I think that the real target for this season is to get a place in top 4. We are not the best team. I don't know if we'll be able or not to compete to try to win the Scudetto, but as I said, I think on your YouTube channel last Thursday, in my personal opinion, Inter, Napoli, and Milan are the clear favorites to win the title.
But then I want to come back on one of the controversy, Romeo, about the words of Max Allegri, because he says you can't win with a gun against a tank. That's words that have been reported. Everyone was not happy because they are saying it's a bit like the 10 euro, 100 euro phrase sentence from Antonio Conte. But I was not really happy about how it was reported, because if you listen to the interview in total, he's also saying, but a good coach needs to find alternatives when you know the value of your team, what they can give you, etc., etc. From that moment on, when you realize that maybe other ones are favorite, like Inter, Napoli, Milan, you need to find alternatives. And I was really happy when he was saying this time we don't think about March or April, but already from December. That means, that he wants already fast results that are really important. So I didn't see all that controversy that I then saw on social media. I don't know what was your reaction when you
No,
heard
no.
him.
I think so too. The most important thing is to start in the right way this season. 7 points in 3 matches. I think that we were able to win against Bologna as
I agree.
well, but we suffered a lot, especially the first half. But now, then after the break, will be very important to understand our values against Lazio, because Lazio. Did you watch the game against Napoli, Beppe? They played a beautiful second half. They scored 4 goals. So it will be a very, very match against tough match against Lazio.
I have a question for you.
Why?
Would you have preferred a Lazio against Juve with Lazio not winning yet a game, or the Lazio that is now with an ultra confident boost after beating Napoli?
Lazio with 0 points in the table,
Yeah.
because now they will be more confident.
Mm.
Of course, they have a lot of players with the national teams, so Sarri doesn't have so much time to work with these guys. But for example, Rovella is staying at Formello, and maybe we could start against Juve. Sarri is always a top coach, and we know very well because he won a
Of
Scudetto
course.
here. And training session by training session, match by match, I think that he will be able to show the best of this team, and it will be a very tough game, as I said. Michael, Miretti had great potential. Presently, is lacking confidence. Is more effective when he moves into space and makes quick passes. I didn't like his performance yesterday. I have seen some ratings today in the newspaper. Someone gave me a 6.5. Too much, my personal opinion. I don't know because in the first half he made a lot of silly mistakes. Better in second half with a unbelievable pass to Chiesa, clear assist, and then I wanted to watch Chiesa scoring, because yesterday he scored the most difficult one. But I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe Miretti needed to be loaned for one season. Sometimes I say, no, it's already for this level. I don't know, guys. What's your opinion on that?
The problem with Miretti, I was talking about it earlier. It's a guy that the simple things he missed them, and then you see the potential and the qualities when he's doing the difficult things, because he's able to find the spaces, the vision. But the simple things he missed them, and sometimes after the first ball that is missing with a simple pass, etc., he loses a bit of confidence. I need that he needs to work mentally to be really strong. That if he missed something in the beginning, it's okay. Continue, because you will do well. Believing in himself. Today it's difficult, because one game we see a Fagioli not at 100% yet, and we want Miretti. Then it's Miretti that is playing. We want Fagioli, so it's quite difficult. On the other side, being loaned out, if he had no chance to play with Juve, I would have been totally okay with. On the other side, if you are staying at Juve and you receive the minutes because Max is giving him the minutes, I believe that at Juve you are learning 3 times more and faster than when you are going loaned out. So I'm happy with him staying, but it's true that he needs to step up. Last season I was
But
kind with
Beppe,
him.
what's the evolution of this player? It will be a regista. He will continue to play as a mezzala. Because, to be honest, I don't understand how he can put out his 100% in terms of potential.
And that's the problem with giocatori polivalenti. When you have these kinds of all-around player, you have difficulties because what is the specialty of Miretti? Because I saw him indeed playing as a regista, playing as a trequartista, mezzala on the left. Because you remember when Max was saying what is the difference between Fagioli and Miretti, he said that Fagioli, he prefers starting on the right because with his body is easier, while Miretti, he can do it on the left. And in the game, you also see sometimes, changes of positioning. It's not easy for him. Maybe that's the good question. Put him on a role and you insist on that one.
Yeah, you have to work on that, especially playing just one match during the week. True, and we'll play in the Coppa Italia. Locatelli for me is worse in register role now. We need to do something on Loca. What about Locatelli performance yesterday? Normal performance, nothing special, but he played with the right balance. Of course, I hope always that he gave something more from Loca.
Look, for me, the start of the season of Locatelli is not wow. He had to do better. I think it's also something from physical condition because it's a bit bigger, taller. You need a bit, like the mechanism working there. So I'm waiting for him. What I saw yesterday, because I didn't like the performance of Locatelli, but what I liked is at a certain moment I was analyzing the pass matrix of the players, and I see that 6 times he's trying with a vertical pass to Chiesa. And that's important. That's really important in the way that we want to play. Not always they were accurate, no always they were dangerous, but there is the intention to play vertically, while Locatelli last year played a lot in the back. So there is evolution, but also for him, it's the 3rd season at Juve. I'm expecting much better now from now. This season is the season he needs to show, or is Juve or is not Juve.
That's the point. I think that will be decisive for him, for his career, because if I'm right, during the season he will turn 26. So when you are 26, you are not young in terms of football anymore, guys. So, guys, I think Allegri should trust in Nicolussi Caviglia and give him the chance. What do you think? Now we have 7 midfielders. I think that in terms of solutions, answer right now is the last one. I think that this guy could have a big career. I don't know if Juventus level or less. We'll see what will happen. But during the press conference ahead of Empoli-Juventus, Allegri has spoken about some different players that can play in front of the defense. He mentioned Rabiot, Miretti, but no Hans. Why? Maybe because, in his opinion, Nicolussi is a mezzala. I don't know if for Allegri, Hans could play as a regista. But I hope that he will get minutes during this season because he has a huge potential.
On the other side, also, we are playing once a week. We can't fail. Because when you are rotating, if you fail, you fail. Now, you can't fail. You have no other chances that once a week. And we are looking at, in the beginning of the season, we are looking for stability. We are also looking for minutes for Fagioli so that he can enter. That's why he's entering against Udinese. Because against Udinese, it's the perfect game in the second half for Nicolussi. You are winning 3-0, you can test him. But Fagioli is coming back from an injury and he plays. Then you see a Paul Pogba that also needs some minutes. So you have some players that needs to grow in their physical condition. And that's why I think that we didn't see yet at the moment Nicolussi, because other players, they need to play. And it's difficult, only once a week.
Mastermind, Romeo, do you think that if we play in a 3-4-3 formation with Chiesa, Vlahovic, and Weah as the front three, will that change give us more goals? Yeah, but you need to change coach. I think that right now it's impossible. That's true that Weah, in the past, he played as a winger. He was at the beginning of his career, he was a striker. I think that with the US, he plays like a a striker. So everything is possible, especially in modern football. But I'm pretty sure that Allegri will continue to push on the 3-5-2, especially recovering Kostic on the left side, pushing on Cambiaso. But that's it.
I don't. The 3-4-3 for Max Allegri is a really unbalanced team, but really unbalanced. I believe more in some games in a 3-4-2-1, where one of the two strikers can drop down, that can become a 3-5-1-1. But in a 3-4-3, it's difficult, especially because Chiesa, if you are looking at yesterday, after except of the goal, he didn't really convince me. I didn't rate him with a high score, but he's clearly working on his positioning, because you saw a much more central Chiesa, and the touches that he received, because he received 6 passes from Locatelli, 6 passes from Miretti. So the midfielders, they are able to find him also centrally, which was a big problem against Bologna. So I think that he's also adapting to that role. And I think that in that role, he can be a real danger. If he can understand when and why, he can be dangerous. Paying attention also to the energy that he's spending, because you see that goal at the 84th minute, he's dead. Huh? He can't breathe anymore. He's on the ground, because we know it has since the season with Pirlo. Chiesa is a player, he cannot manage today his energy level. He's going, and then he's really tired. Huh?
Alejandro Paredes, who is playing at AS Roma right now. If we have Rovella with Juventus today, he for sure take the place of Floca. I don't know. We'll never know.
And no, today no, because Rovella is injured.
That's true, but maybe in 2 weeks. I don't know. I think that Nicola is a very good player, especially under Sarri. He will improve a lot.
Do you think he will play? He will play a lot of game, because the midfield of Lazio that I saw
at the
against
beginning,
Napoli,
no. At the beginning, no. But for sure, also for this reason, Rovella has chosen to join Lazio, because
Guendouzi was strong.
they have a very top quality midfielder, because they have Luis Alberto that scored an unbelievable goal. They have Kamada, who scored his first goal at Lazio. They have Cataldi. They have Rovella. So I think that they did a big effort during the last transfer window to improve the level of the sector. But I'm pretty sure that Rovella, I don't know when, but for sure it will be a starter in the coming weeks. At Lazio, I hope not against Juventus, because, what do you think of a 4-2-3-1? So what we have seen during the Cardiff season. What's your opinion, Beppe?
I like the 4-2-3-1. The problem is we don't have the players to play 4-2-3-1.
We don't have the players to do that.
We don't have them. Potentially up front, yes, because you can play with a fantastic 2-3-1. You play with Vlahovic up front. Then you play with where do you play Chiesa? Because if you have Kostic, if you have
we don't have the right back on the left side. Okay, we have Cambiaso, but for example, Alexandro, he can't play anymore there. So,
but I see a lot of people asking 3-4-3, 4-2-3-1, 3-4-1-2. But would you? I don't know. Would you change the 3-5-2 that we have with the team that we have after a preseason? No.
I think that during this season we have to push on this system until they die, because I think this is the perfect, maybe not the perfect, but the right system to those players.
With the player that we have. And also I see a team that is playing higher on the pitch. So you see, last year, the problem was that Kostic and Cuadrado, they were helping the defensive line, and you were with 5. Now you see them higher on the pitch, so the behavior starts to be correct in a 3-5-2, because 3-5-2 is a number. So I would insist with that, especially with the players that we have.
Carlos, regarding the topic, supporters at home, away, I don't know what will happen. I don't have a huge power to say something like that. As I said in several times, I hope that what we watched yesterday at the Castellani,
Was huge.
I hope to watch the same things at the Allianz Stadium. I can say just that.
Because it was beautiful. When they do the omaggio to Shirea, you hear it. It's fantastic. It's beautiful.
They support a lot. They push a lot the players.
It was
I would
beautiful.
like to watch what happened yesterday again at Italian Stadium, because I was lucky enough to watch what happened with Antonio Conte, the first era with Max Allegri there. So I hope that one day the situation will change. Elia, what do you think is the perfect manager for Juventus? Max Allegri. Of course. For example, I like so much Thiago Motta.
I'm with you on that boat. Thiago Motta is really good because it's not the extraordinary crazy coach, but he's really structured. He knows.
It's an English word, pragmatic.
Yeah,
He's so pragmatic because he likes to play very well with a good style of football, but in the same time, he's a very pragmatic coach. Lord Deschilio should return in like 3-4 months. Who?
No, I think it will be. I think it will be really difficult to see him.
Of course, that Mattia will come back stronger, but it was a very bad injury. We can say that he's an injury prone. Always when he was at 100% of his career. I wish all the best to Mattia, but of course, for this season, I don't know. I don't know if he will be able to play and what kind of level. And also, I don't know. I know also. Sorry, guys, just joining. Pogba, how long?
We didn't speak about Pogba. Huh?
We have to speak about Paul because yesterday he scored a goal. Unfortunately, the assist was made on offside by Vlahovic, but one ball, one goal. Kill.
But did you see the build-up of that play is fantastic? Chiesa. Dusan Vlahovic, Pogba. Oh, ragazzi, it was absolutely beautiful. I loved it.
But we know that perfectly because we were lucky enough to leave the first Paul Pogba. When he joined Juventus, he was a child. Then he moved as a top player. So for 4 seasons, I always say that, in my personal opinion, Pogba is one of the best players of the recent story of Juventus. Because, I want to talk about just the players that have the opportunity to watch in the past right now. But Pogba, in his first experience at Juventus, was unbelievable because he scored as a striker. He was aggressive like the best Edgar Davids, technically. So phenomenal. That's normal for him to do what he did yesterday. Or no, Bep?
It is totally normal. The problem is that how many times will we be able to see it? Because I am a really positive and optimistic person. That's how I am. But even myself on Pogba, I know that it's a player that you can have a bonus. It's like la cerise sur le gâteau in French.
Yeah.
The cherry on the cake. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's not the cake, unfortunately, this season. And that's a problem. The problem is that will be already the second year of Pogba at Juventus. The first year, we didn't see him. Second year, if it's, like 30 minutes here and then 2 weeks of injury, then coming back, probably it's not enough. Then you really have to reconsider what to do. Then
that's true. That's true that he had a good entourage, Pirlo, Vidal, Marchisio, but it was a phenomenon. It was so impressive because when I had the opportunity to talk with a source that had the opportunity to watch for the first time Pogba during his first training session at Vinovo, he told me immediately, this guy is unbelievable. He's already at top level. And he was right, because everyone knows what he did for this club. But I agree that beautiful players alongside Paul, but Paul was unbelievable.
No, incredible. My favorite player of that era, because you see him as a kid and you have affection. Like today you have affection for Sule, Ealing Jr., because they are coming from the youth. And then you see him growing that much and being wow. Fantastic player. But there is a but.
And we don't know, guys, when I think during our first debriefing after Udinese Juventus, I said, I don't know, guys, if he will play 10 matches, 20 matches, the full matches until the end of the season. We don't know. Of course, we are hoping that we'll get a decent level, but we don't know. It's impossible right now to say something about that. Marco, do you think Huijsen can take Alexandro's place before the end of the season? First of all, I have to say that I watched the first official match of the season of the Juventus Next Gen, the big defeat against Pescara.
Against Zeman.
Zeman. And Dan was, I love Dan, everyone knows that. But Dan was the worst player on the pitch.
It's true.
Because he made a big mistake for the 1-0. He made a big mistake on the second third goal. I don't remember now. But I think that that's normal, step by step. And Beppe, in my personal opinion, it's very difficult to go training with the first team, to do the pre-season, to go to Udine, to be on the bench against Bologna, and then to do a step back.
It's true.
Mentally, it's very difficult. And I want to add just that he doesn't play on the left side, but he played as a central defender. It's different.
It's a special position for him, because I saw him playing on the right, on the left, and he has no problem to play left and right. But there, centrally in the defense, especially because I think that the one in the center is the one that is leading the tree. He's the one that is speaking. He's a bit the captain of the defense. And if indeed he's training all the preseason, plus all the games with Juve, the training sessions, first team, he comes the day before to guide the defense that he doesn't actually know, it can create problems. So that's a difficult one for him.
No, Pepe, after this match, I bet on Dan. My prediction was that he will play more than 5 games. So we'll see what will happen. But of course, it's normal to have this up and down. But I told you guys, be careful with the next gen, because it's a very, very, very complicated situation, because you have to play against experienced players. It's very, very difficult. So,
but you remember we said it last week. You remember we were talking about the difference.
I'm very afraid about that. That's true that Juventus in the last days of the market have bought solid players like Comenencia, the guy that we bought from Werder Bremen, if I'm right, the midfielder, and Guerra, that he has experience and he scored during his debut in Pescara. But I'm a little bit scared, because it's not easy to do
Bangula had difficulties, huh?
But yeah.
It's a good player with talent, but I don't see yet, that final step.
Because, when you play against Pescara, you have to try to kill the match. It's not the right time to do the show, to dance with the ball. No, you have to be pragmatic.
But that's also why the step from Primavera to next gen is already a big step.
No,
It's already a
different
big step.
word, different word. People told me always the same thing. It's a different word, and for this reason, Juventus have created the second team.
Yeah.
Kama can then play central back in a four? Yeah, for sure. Don't forget, guys, that he's 18. So keep going. He must improve. We know that very well. In my personal opinion, he's already set to do something with the first team. But I want to be honest. I think that I'm an honest journalist, and I have to say that he was the worst player against Pescara. He will do better in the second match if he will play with the next gen, because sometimes he's with the first team, and that's not easy, Beppe.
No,
Mentally, that's not easy, because maybe from Tuesday to Saturday you work with the first team, then you have to go on Sunday to play with the second team. It's a different world.
But even in terms of motivation, you are dreaming one day about starting your first game as a professional first team, and then you go with the little ones. You know, it's different when I saw it a lot of time in my career with people that were promoted, and then they had to do the job that they were doing in the past. It's a lot more difficult mentally to give it unconscious. It's not that you don't want to, but unconsciously, it's really difficult.
As you went to Tristan Baldanzi, I think he's a great player. He's a talent player. I think that he was one of the best at Empoli yesterday, because especially in the first half, he tried to do something different. He tried to find the right spaces. Baldanzi, I'm sure, will have a big career in the Serie A. I don't know if one day will play for FC Barcelona or Bayern Munich, but in the Serie A, he can be a top player in the future without problem. Yesterday, I agree that he was one of the best.
I
By
I
every
like
side.
Cambiaghi as well.
Cambiaghi,
Did a good game.
Fazzini is another talent. I think, Elia, that Juventus are following always the best players linked to Serie A. I don't know if Juventus one day will open negotiation or not with Empoli, because I can tell you that with Empoli we talked about just Parisi, the transfer window, but we didn't have the right space to try to do something with Empoli, and then he moved to Fiorentina, but he's not playing because there they have Biraghi. Yeah, that's official. Montemurro has renewed his contract until 2026, if I'm right.
Yes.
Any thoughts? I think that Joe is a very modern coach. In his first season at Juventus, he did an unbelievable job, because it was a show to watch these girls. But now it's time to open a new cycle, to refresh the project. And I think that Joe could be the right one to do that. What do you think, Beppe?
I really like the coach, but especially the person, because last year on Juventus Twitch, we did every week the Conferenza Stampa with him live on Twitch. And I really appreciate the person, the vision, the ideas, the philosophy. I think that last year was really the end of the cycle. Not only because we lost the Scudetto and Roma was doing also a really fantastic season, but I think that it was really the end of the cycle for a lot of players. Maybe they were looking for something else. I don't know. Then this season we changed a lot. Unfortunately, we can't see at the moment the games on television, so we will have to wait the start of Serie A, because I'm really curious about that big population of new French players that arrived with the Juventus women, but I don't know how strong they are, how much they will fit. I know that Salvai, for example, was asking for 3 years to play on the right side of the defense. It was impossible, so now she will be able to do that with Cascarino that is helping. But Joe is a fantastic person. So I have no doubt about Joe. Grande Joe.
Grande Joe. And opinion on Yildiz?
Yildiz. when I made my podium of the next young players that would arrive in first team, I said Huijsen, number one. Number two, I said Onje. Number three, I said Yildiz. Why number three, Yildiz? Because it's a player that sometimes, when he was playing with the Primavera, he was disappearing from the game. Looks like he was annoying himself, It was a bit boring for him, maybe because the qualities, the talent, and these are things that I always pay attention for. Now, when I'm seeing him with the first team, the motivations are a mille. They are there, 1,000% motivation.
Yeah, especially after his renew.
But it's a player that has indubious qualities. And if last year I was seeing him on the left and sometimes during the game also switching to the right, this year I see him also being able to play a bit more centrally, a bit more behind the strikers. So it's a player that will do a fantastic career.
The most important thing, Beppe, was to keep him, to renew his contract. Then you have the opportunity to watch his evolution training session by training session. You can decide maybe in the future, that's not a news, to let him out on loan to improve. So the most important thing was to get his sign until 2027. And then we see what will happen. Huge talent. You say that perfectly. In my personal opinion, is that maybe he plays like Ozil because he likes to touch the ball, to run around the pitch. We'll see what will happen. If there is a chance for Samardzic or next summer, in January or next summer, I mean, never say never. I hope so, to be honest.
A good player.
Now I'm talking as a Juventus fan, not as a journalist. I'm in love with Samardzic. I think that he's a special player. And I hope that Juventus will try to do something to sign him, but I don't know, because, for example, if he does well in the first part of the season, then you can be linked to the Premier League, the Bundesliga, the Liga. Maybe it will be difficult to win the race. I don't know. And to be honest, I don't know if Juventus are really interested in signing this player or not, but he's a top player.
Depends also on the position of Udinese in January, because how they started the season, it will not be an easy season for them. And when a team like Udinese, Bologna, when they are really fighting for relegation in January, they don't sell their players because they need them. When they are already safe, like a Sassuolo, for example, then it's easier for them to release their players. But do you think that we needed an extra? Because a lot of time people were telling on my channel, why are we looking all summer long for a midfielder? Because we should go for a replacement for Alexandro. We have already 10 midfielders. Why are we looking for Kessié, Milinkovic-Savic, and all the names that we heard? Do you think it's a big miss? That was the priority?
I think that right now the big miss is the player who can play as on the left side and in the free defenders, in the free back. But of course, we can improve without problem this roster. But no money, no honey.
No money, no honey.
We have a lot to do. We have a lot of things to do in the future. And for this reason, it's really, really fundamental to get a place in the top 4, to play in the next Champions League, to get the right money, to do something during the next summer transfer window. Kirian, opinion on Camara? Romano said we were close to get him. And if Fabrizio said that, it's right 100%. According to my info, that's true that Juventus were interested on Camara. I think that we are talking about Abdullah Camara, the midfielder. He's 18 of Borussia Dortmund. According to my info, Juventus will continue to follow this player. I don't know if they will be able to make a bid or not in the coming month, but that's true that Juventus were interested for the next gen, and they will keep to continue to follow his grow up. That's a very good question, because today, this morning, my dad told me what we because he watched the assist that he made for Lautaro, and I think that it was the right time to say goodbye. It's important for Juventus to create a new project on the in terms of right back. So I agree 100% to bet on Weah. So we have to push on this guy. But Quadrado, I was sure, and I bought him. I picked it up in my fantasy football, because, for example, you can decide to start with Dumfries. You can play 70 minutes with Dumfries. Then, when the opponent are tired, you can put on the pitch Quadrado, and he's absolutely amazing because he's fresh. He knows very well the Serie A. He's used to play at high level. So I think that Quadrado as a free agent is a smart signing for him.
It is. I think that was the idea of 22-23 to have Quadrado like that. A player that could enter for the last 20-25 minutes. But then, with all the injuries we had, with the change of system, he became again a starter from the first day of Serie A. And Quadrado at 35 years old is not anymore a starter for double, triple competition.
But do you remember Cafu? I remember perfectly that Cafu, when he left Roma as a free agent, he signed for Milan, and he was 34, 35. And
he had a new career.
He won everything, and he was better. He was because sometimes you can feel that the player is finished, but maybe is a mental condition, not physical condition. And I'm scared that that's the case, because I watched the 3 games by Inter this season, and Quadrado was always on the bench. But when he played, he did very well. Very well.
But I have never doubted about the qualities of Quadrado. But according to me, last season, the agreement was to have him as the joker, and instead he became the starter. Remember that game before the World Cup that he's playing against Lazio?
Yeah.
When we win 3, normally he's not even in physical condition to play. That's why he also had that injury and he missed 1 month. Because normally, he always sacrificed himself. But he was a player that before the World Cup, he was really a disaster, because playing. Now with the great management there, to have Dumfries there, and also Di Marco and Carlos Augusto, I believe that Inter, they really reinforced them with 2 players per role, and they did really well on the Mercato.
Johnny said Paris had been a strange signing. But for the reason we kept Cambiaso, Ealing, and Kostic. There was no spaces to do something on the left side, and for this reason too, Parisi has joined Fiorentina.
I tried to watch Parisi this year. He played 1 game with Fiorentina. At the moment, it's not yet a start. I don't think that today Parisi is a regret for Juventini. It can't be a regret.
Sorry, guys, Moise came for today. Hey, you will be fined. You will be fined, Don't worry, mate. Thanks to be with you today. Grande Pueblo! ¿Qué tal, hombre? Grande.
Oh, that's another debate. Moiskin. Some people are saying now he entered fantastically well. Can we see him as a starter? Maybe against Lazio, maybe against Sassuolo. Is he a player that you would see as a starter? Because he entered with a beautiful impact. Of course, it's an Empoli that they were not playing anymore. Huh?
You know, Beppe, that when we talk about Moise is a piece of my heart. So I hope that this will be his season, but that's not easy because the connection between Vlahovic and Chiesa is a very good connection. They are the starter right now. Today I wrote a piece for a goal, and in which I said that they are doing very, very well. 2 goals for Chiesa, 2 goals for Vlahovic. They try to help the team. Yesterday, Allegri was very happy about their attitude in terms of this defense aspect, because Allegri say, okay, it's important for a striker to Juventus to score, but it's important to give them right balance to the other players. And I think that they did that very well. Marco, could Miretti become stronger than Barella? It's very difficult. It's very difficult because Barella is a top player. We have to be honest. I don't think so. I don't. Right now, I don't think so.
Oh, did you see Milik? Milik, for the first time, he enters instead of Vlahovic, and he's working better. He's not better than Vlahovic, huh?
Milik is a striker, but he plays as a trequartista because what he did for Chiesa, that means he's a trequartista because he's always right when he has to decide the pass.
It is.
When he has to understand how to put himself in the field. He plays very well. He likes to do that because sometimes he can miss incredible chances, but when he has to do what he did yesterday, he's always on point. Always.
But that's the change that he has to do, because the first two games is changing him for Chiesa, and Milik needs to play with Vlahovic. For me, the change is Milik for Vlahovic, and then you can see Keane for Chiesa or Yildiz for Chiesa. But that's the change. I don't see them playing together. Even if last year there were some games they played together, they didn't do bad. But for me, that's not Milik Vlahovic together makes no sense for me.
Makes no sense. Beppe, we have two questions regarding the national teams. Mattia, ciao, what do you think, guys, about the new national team, coaching team, più Buffon? So, Luciano Spalletti is a very good choice. He's the best right now. He was a free agent, so I think that...
free agent. Let's see if De Laurentiis...
Let's see. But I think Luciano is a very top coach. And regarding Gigi, I don't know this role if of course, but to be honest, I prefer not to speak.
But today we have to say that Buffon, when he was speaking, he was speaking like a kid. He had the eyes that were sparkling.
Of course, I'm joking because he knows very well what it means to dress that jersey. He loves Italy with all his heart. But maybe I'm used to watch him on the goal, so I have to.
Strange, huh?
Yeah, it's very strange, very strange. But I think that the connection and the relationship with Spalletti has started very well.
Yeah, because they have respect.
That's really important for the future of Gigi and of the national team too.
And I think also it's better for him to start with Spalletti that enter the staff of Mancini.
Yeah,
that's a big difference.
Yeah, new cycle, new project, new assistant staff, new possibility to. Yeah, I agree with you, 100%. And the second.
Bye.
No, go.
No, and then I wanted to say also for Buffon, it can be a beautiful transitional role. Stop the career. He starts in a role that is important. We saw what Gianluca Vialli did in that role, so it's extremely
that's a diplomatic role.
But it's a diplomatic role without too much decisional taking, and then he can do the step in really management of football after 3-4 years.
Yeah.
When he understands that he's not a player anymore, because that will be difficult for Buffon.
Yeah, but I respect a lot Gigi because when you are 43, 44, you say, I don't want to become a coach. I don't want to become a sporting director. I don't want to be part of a board. What I can do, what I'm able to do, I can put out my experience to the younger players that they will start a new cycle with the national team. That's it. Romeo, what do you think of Locatelli selection for Italy? Do you think Spalletti will use him as a regista? That's a very good question. So, Jorginho is over. Verratti is over too, but he doesn't play as a regista. How many players we have for the future? We have right now Locatelli, maybe Rovella for the future. I don't know what will happen, but because we don't have a lot of solutions. But be careful because Spalletti is a very good coach and he will understand who will play there.
I'm
It's a
very curious
crucial role.
uh, but it depends also, because he said that he wants to play with a 4-3-3, right?
Yeah,
And a 4-3-3 depends where you put him. You have because I don't even know if he will play because with indeed Barella, Tonali, you have a lot of players that can play. And Fagioli,
yeah. I think that maybe if you understand that you don't have the big regista for the Italy level, you can change the system,
uh,
maybe to play with Barella, Tonali, with two midfielders. No, Verratti no. Verratti at the moment is out. Your opinion, is possible to buy Luis Alberto next year? Is it that Juventus try to get him, but no, that's not true at all. I think that, guys, Luis Alberto is 13. He's a key player for Lazio. Every summer it seems that he's going to leave and he stays. I don't think. I don't know. I don't think.
if he leaves, he goes back to Spain.
Yeah, he said that in several times in several interviews. So maybe one day he would like to come back in Spain. I have to say that he scored unbelievable.
Mamma mia!
Mamma mia!
Oh, but also there, the space that he's receiving, it's not normal. Huh? There was nobody that was man marking. He was alone, tranquilo there. And
Yeah,
then, but then the goal, because you need also the audacity, because until there, 0 shots on goal from Lazio, and then he's going that with a Luis Alberto, fantastic goal, really beautiful.
Abe, do you think Nonjo will get promoted to the first
Ah,
team this season or next season? This season, I don't think so
yes,
because
no.
we have already 7 midfielders and just 2 competitions. I have to add that Nonje was on the bench in
Mm,
Pescara. I don't know why. In my personal opinion, in terms of quality, maybe he's the best midfielder at the next gen. It's really important for him during this season to show that he's able to play regularly in the Serie C. And guys, I repeat, this will be a very, very, very difficult championship.
I agree.
That means we have to keep the category. Now, I don't want to scare anyone, but what I have seen during the first half in Pescara, it's clear for everyone. You have to fight. You have to fight with players that sometimes they work with the first team. They do step back. It's not easy at all. We have to understand that, guys, because the Group A is more easily. We are the Group B, and in the Group B there are top team: Pescara, Cesena, Rimini, Pineto. Believe me, guys, will be a very tough
Yeah.
season. We must be ready.
AJ is asking, Rabiot renew again at the end of the season? Is there a possibility?
If Max stays.
That's a big. That's on the contract.
Before to close our live show, Beppe, I want to give to ask you, Rabiot, in these 3 matches, he was okay. He scored against Udinese, but also yesterday
I
he
agree.
was not at top
No,
level.
no. But the entire midfield, it's already 2 games where you said it on my channel last Thursday. You said that was our weakest point. I want to put it on physical condition, because we know by experience that Rabiot is like a diesel motor. He needs to warm up to come, especially it's already the second time that he's missing that tournée in USA. But last season he trained at high level with the next gen and he was ready. Not one match day 1 because he had that suspension, but from match day 2 he was ready. Now this time with that small injury, I think he's not ready yet physically. But if you have a Rabiot, a Locatelli that are not ready, then you have a Fagioli not ready, a Miretti that we just spoke about. Then of course our midfield is not at top condition and it's really difficult. But it's true that Rabiot, I really didn't like him against Bologna. I don't want to exaggerate because for me, Gazzetta dello Sport today they said that he was the worst on the pitch. I don't agree with that, but he was not good. So now he's going with the French national team. Let's see how he will come back. No, I don't think that he will. We said it, that he will equal what he did last year in terms of goals. It was something really exceptional. I don't think he will repeat that, but I think he will be an important player also this year. But it's true that the start is not wow.
Beppe, the last question, we go to sleep or to watch a movie on Netflix. Mohamed, what do you think about Mulazzi? Can be the way backup in the second part of the season? Not at all.
No,
I like Mulazzi, but
I agree.
I think that he has to show that he's able to play for the second team. Of course, right now we have him and Comenencia, but Comenencia has played as a mezzala. Look,
Yeah.
he played as a mezzala because there was as a right back Mulazzi, Comenencia, Damiani, Nonge, if I remember well. Something like that.
But you remember when he was announced by Juve on the site?
Yeah.
They said we signed a new midfielder, Comenencia.
Yeah, because I talk about some aspect about Eredivisie, something like that. They told me that that he played there in Holland as a midfielder. So you can play without problem, of course, as a right back. But look that because during his debut against Pescara, he played not as a right back, but as a mezzala. We'll see if Brambilla will bet on him on this role or it will change. We'll see. So, Beppe, it was a pleasure as always. Thanks for that. It's nice to talk after the victory. Always very nice. And thanks everyone, guys, for following us. Don't forget to put your subscribe to J Just Juventus here on YouTube and follow him everywhere because Twitter, TikTok, no?
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah. Everywhere.
Instagram, Facebook, and Tom. Don't forget, follow J Just Juve. Good night.